We have this wonderful test, and like I tell them, that takes a picture of their skin, which is a thermometer for what's going on underneath. So what it's doing is giving us the temperatures and the areas of the breast, and anything over 1.3 is very significant, but they can actually see that. But what I love about thermography, it's early detection. We don't have to wait until we have breast cancer, because we know the early stages: inflammation, lymph congestion, hormonal imbalances. I mean, those are really important things, and that's what you can see on thermal imaging. So if we can see that on a 21-year-old girl, she doesn't have to go down that road, right? We can fix that. We can work right now with the digestive disorder, the estrogen dominance, or the hormone imbalance. And that's what I explain to women. It's a visual picture for women. I mean, what gives you a visual picture? I was an x-ray tech. I mean, it's not a visual picture. So this is a visual picture. And I always tell women, when I'm speaking to them, I mean, can an x-ray show you lymph congestion? No. Can it show you estrogen dominance? No. Can it show you hormonal imbalances? No. Can it show you inflammation? And don't you think that's important? Those are the three precursors to, breast cancer and disease. So that's what I love about it. And I always tell women, I know that they're also scared about the C word. You know what I'm saying? Once they hear that word, it's not about that word. It's about what's causing that. Exactly. And that's what I love that we're doing. So we're helping women and educating them to understand that it's early detection.
Again, much about thermography started with a very localized point of view, meaning if you have a trigger point, which is a knot in a muscle, then you would identify that marker on your image, and as if it exists by itself. I think our point of view, particularly related to functional infrared, is the integratedness of these findings and how they exist because of other facets of the body that are existing at the same time. So I think the view once you look at the structure and its function, and then you're giving an overview regarding the host and its ability to defend itself. That would be you. So the host is more of what we're interested in, its ability to help itself, and what environment are they producing that sustains and allows cancer to take over.
This is what happened. I'll tell you what happened to me, and this is really the truth. Very healthy, very happy. I got my insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, went for my first mammogram, my first pap smear mammogram. Had my mammogram and my last mammogram, and what they said was, you know what, you have a lump. I said, really? And they go, yeah, you have a lump. And oh my goodness. And he says, we need to do a biopsy. I said, a biopsy? And he says, yeah, it could be cancer. Well, what do you think? I'm in a panic now, right? And so then he says, and I says, well, I don't know if I want to have a biopsy. He called me up at home and said, you need to come in for that biopsy tomorrow, because I don't want this, we don't want this on our hands. We don't want your blood on our hands. I couldn't believe it.
That's an emotional trauma that...
Tell me, that could give you cancer. Yeah. So I go in, and this is kind of my little testimony, how I got into breast thermal imaging, was I went in, and so they do the emergency biopsy, and it's an ultrasound-guided, needle-guided biopsy. Yes. And I'm watching it, and you're watching this. And you're watching the needle go in, you're watching the needle come out. You're watching the needle go in, you're watching the needle come out. The next day he comes in and he says, honey, the good news is it's not breast cancer. And what I realized when he said that, you know what, if it was, it would be in my lung, right? Because the needle went into my lung. And those cells, they collapsed my lung.
Yeah, deflated
the lung.
The lung.
He will say, this guy's got a lot of stress that's going on right now in this man's life. So, and he'll sit and talk with him about working on that part to fix this part, which is pretty amazing to me.
Yeah, especially those women that are, molested. You can see their structural tendency. They'll have a severe right pelvic drop, and they have an ongoing issue regarding father.